Jim?
Yeah.
How much time do we have?
1 hour.
Hello? Is that 1 hour? So,
Yeah.
what, 7? 7, 6:57?
10 to 7.
10 to 7, all right. Question answers or anything like that? You've got session after that?
There's just some updates from
All right.
within us.
Fair enough. I'll try and cover it in 1 hour. All right. Good evening, everybody. How are you all today? Feeling good? Yeah, I normally get people to do a dance before I start. I'm saying that you've already done the dance. You don't need that. I think you're all pumped up, right? Yeah. Beautiful. And I guess all of you are from different faculties and different disciplines, right?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, great. My name is Sunil Kumar, and I'll give you a little bit of my background as we go along. But as you can see on the screen, what I'm going to talk about is how you can live an inspired life. Now, we all live our lives, right? That's what we do. We exist. And it could be all kinds of existence. It could be just mundane, routine existence, just going from day to day, getting up in the morning, doing the things that we normally do, coming to uni, going back, go to sleep, get up the next day, do the same thing all over again, and the same thing, and the same thing, and the same thing. And before you know it, life's passed you by, right? And a lot of people actually go through this journey and get to the age of maybe 40, 50, 60, 70, and then suddenly one day they wake up and they realize, oops, all my life's passed me by. I haven't done really anything worthwhile. And they have all these regrets that they didn't do what they had to do, what they could have done. They hadn't lived up to their potential. And this is the story across humanity. And I'll show you some statistics. Now, what's really challenging for me is, what I'm going to talk to you about here is something that I normally do in a day session. It would take me about at least 6 to 8 hours to cover this. I've got to do that in 1 hour. And that's TN's mandate. He's going to kick you out of here. Because I know you guys have something else on the agenda. So that's a big challenge for me. Because some of these concepts are very profound. And it takes some thinking before you can actually grasp it. All right? But what I'm going to do is, my objective here is to get you to start thinking. Get you to start exploring and looking at the possibilities and the opportunities that are there, out there for you, especially because you're all, I guess most of you are around the age of 20, right? I can't see any oldies over here, excepting for myself and my friend there. But I think pretty much all of you are under 20. Which means that you've got at least about 65 years. I'd say the average lifespan in Australia is about 85. So give or take a few years, you should be living around 60 to 65 years. So you've got this whole big life ahead of you, right? You don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to take the wrong turning and get onto the wrong road and then keep going and going and going, and one fine day, you know, be like the other person I told you, all regrets. All right, so we talk about life and we talk about inspired life. So the whole idea here is you just don't live a life. You live an inspired life, right? You live a life full of meaning. You live a life full of purpose. You live a life full of contribution. Why do we need to do that? We can just live life. Why do we need to do that? Because we want to be happy, right? All of us at the end of the day want to be happy. We might want money, we might want cars, we might want houses, but the bottom line is at the end of the day, we want to be happy. We want to be peaceful, we want to be contented, we want to be fulfilled, right? Right? Now, I'd like you to kind of respond to me either by nodding your heads or sparkle in your eyes. And if I see if you're going to sleep, then I'm going to close up and then go out, right? So the whole idea is try and take whatever you can from this 1 hour session. Go back, go on to Google, do some research. Go on, buy some books, do some reading. Go on to YouTube, look at some videos. What I'm telling you is nothing new. It's all out there, right? All that I'm trying to do is to try and get you to take some action. Just go out there and do some research on your own and try and make sure that your life is an inspired life, right? Now I'll define in a moment what inspiration is all about and why we call it an inspired life. So let's get started, and I'll show you some statistics that are going to stagger you. That's 1/5 of the world's population, right? The population right now is 6 billion plus. So you're talking about a billion people, 1 billion. You know how many zeros are there in a billion? That's the number of people, all right? You must have all heard of somebody or the other undergoing, either in your family, in your friend circle, or somebody far, far away, but people who are going through some kind of depression. Severe cases, like mild cases, but some kind of depression. Look at that, 1,800,000, close to 1 million people. Isn't that staggering? One in 5, that's again 20%. We're talking about 5 million people, right? Now, you decide where you want to be. Do you want to be in that 20% or do you want to be in the 80%, right? We all run the risk, because we're living in this fast-paced world. We all run the risk of ending up at the 20%. You've got to make sure that you're not there. There you go, 15% of children and adolescents. These are all minute figures taken out from World Health Organization figures and Australian Bureau of Statistics. So this is all based on research, right? These are not fabricated figures. Further 20,000 every year. Again, do you want to be part of the 20,000 or do you want to be part of the rest? Right? That's the important thing. All right. See that? Okay. Now, those figures that you saw were of people who have been diagnosed as having mental illness, some form of mental illness. Right? I hope all of you understand that, right? Now, if you're not following me on anything that I say, please raise your hands. Something that I say, it's not clear, a word that I say you don't understand, please raise your hands, right? The whole idea is that you've got to understand this. Now, that's the figures of people who are actually undergoing a diagnosed mental illness. But let's look at people who are unhappy, right? People who are unhappy. I'm sure there are people here in this room who are unhappy. People who are disgruntled, right? Disgruntled with their lot in life. Why am I doing this course? I hate this course. My dad asked me to do this course. My mom asked me to do this course. I've got to get to 4 years of course somehow, disgruntled, right? Dissatisfied with whatever. Dissatisfied with something in your life or the other. Right? Pretty much all of us. We can relate to this. Frustrated. Overwhelmed. We sometimes feel overwhelmed. Exams around the corner. We haven't done our assignments. We just feel like, we just can't get through this. How are we going to get through this? You've got pressures, other pressures, maybe from the home side, from relationship side, and so on. We feel miserable. And suffering. How many? We don't know. It'd be huge. It'd be 5 out of 6 billion. It'd be 80%. It'd be 85%. Why? Are these things caused by a bacteria? Is it caused by a virus? Is it caused by something external? No, right? All this, plus all the illnesses that you saw before, is not caused by anything external of us. It's all caused because of our own internal demons that are there inside. Our mind plays tricks with us, right? So we've got full control over this. We've got full control, 100% control. Why do we let this happen to us? Isn't it a question that you should be asking yourself? Why? Why do people allow themselves to be depressed? Why do people allow themselves to be depressed and overwhelmed and frustrated and disgruntled and go and commit suicide? Why? I mean, it's all a switch, right, inside their mind. They can just turn it on and turn it off. They're the masters of their mind. Nobody else is playing tricks with them. There's no bacteria coming, there's no weapons coming from outside, nobody's shooting them and killing them. It's all inside the head, right? So this is the important thing, and this is the reason why we have to understand life a little better. We don't. Nobody teaches us that. We go through school, primary school, middle school, high school, we do all the subjects under the sun. Where the history, geography, source, I don't know, religion, language, and mathematics, and chemistry, physics, everything under the sun, right? Does anybody teach you how to live life? Does your geography, mathematics, history help you when you are in depression? Can you do mathematical calculations, a formula, and get out of depression? You can't, right? That's the truth. So, it's important that you also learn how to live life. And life is multi-dimensional. So the first thing that I want to tell you about life is that life is a journey. Right? You are on a journey. You get me? Yep, you're on a journey. I'd like to walk that side also. So life is a journey, right? It's not something that's a point in time. You're born and you die. Those are points in time. You're born, you're just born, right? You die, you just died. Finished. But where do you live all your life? In the journey between being born and dying. Do you get what I'm saying? Right? Your whole life is a journey, right? You're traveling from the time you were born to the time you die. That's all you're doing. We're born, we start moving, till the time we reach, whatever age, and then we die. So life's a journey. Now most people don't realize this is very, very profound and powerful. People don't realize this. People think that life is about something tomorrow. It's about a goal that I have to get to after 1 month, after 3 months, after 1 year. But they don't realize it's a journey, so just continue. Right? All right. So I'll tell you something about myself now. Is that all right? Yeah. All right. Very briefly. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm very much like you, right? I did my schooling, I went to uni, I did my engineering, I got into the corporate life, I started working for a multinational company and work, try to climb the corporate ladder because that's what I thought makes people happy, right? Get a good degree and then get into a multinational corporate and then start climbing the corporate ladder, manager and general manager, and you go up and you become the CEO, that's it. You should be the happiest person in the world, right? That's what we're taught. So I started doing that. And and I started doing well in wherever I was working. Money was reasonable, money is never enough, but money was good. Couldn't complain about money, I didn't really, But then I should have been happy, right? By all accounts, I should have been happy because that's how you get to happiness. By working hard, that's what you're doing, right? You're all in this uni because you want to get a degree, you want to go out there, get into a job, work hard, climb the corporate ladder, get to a position of importance, get money coming in, a good fat paycheck, and you'd be happy. But I wasn't. I wasn't. I mean, seemingly I was. I mean, everybody thought I was, because everything looked hunky-dory, I was all that, but I wasn't. Deep inside I wasn't. There was something that was missing. I felt there was something missing. It was not complete. There was no meaning in what I was doing. That's how it started. It was just a game of numbers. You know how it is in large organizations. I was in sales, so you have sales targets. If you know what I mean, I don't know whether you work, but you relate to that. When you get into the profession, you have targets every month, every quarter, every year, and so on. So it's just numbers, numbers, numbers. So you sell 100 today, you sell 150 tomorrow, you sell 200 day after tomorrow, and 250, and 300, and 350, and that's it. It's just a game of numbers. And there's no end to it. So you don't know really where you're going and what you're doing. Right? So that really woke me up. It started me thinking, what's happening? Why is it that I'm not really happy? So I actually got into this whole journey of personal development. Trying to understand where I'm coming from, what do I want in life, why am I not happy in spite of getting money and professional achievement and success. So I started doing a lot of research, started reading books, started listening to people, started going to seminars, just like what you're doing. I went and listened to people who spoke about these things, and I started thinking. And I said, there's something missing here. I need to know why. And then I got onto this journey, and then I've spent the last 10 years doing research, doing studies, doing reading, trying to put together these thoughts, implementing it in my own life. And it's transformed my life. Today I'm doing what I love doing. This is what I love doing. I'm doing it at my own time. I don't have a boss. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. And I'm very happy. So I thought, if this can do this to me, I should share this with other people. You know, that's why I started the Inspiration Academy. And I said, I'm going to share with people some of these ideas, concepts, tools, techniques to make life better, to live an inspired life. So that's why I'm here, just to share with you and make sure that you also live inspired lives like, you know, like I'm doing. So let's get back to the journey. Life's a journey, I said, right? Journey has got a starting point, journey has got an ending point. So you're born, you travel, and you die. But also there's another journey. And that journey is of who you are today, right? And where you are today. That's the starting point. Because yesterday is over, right? Past is history. There's nothing that you can do to change where you were born, who your parents are, which country you belong to, what language you speak. You can't do anything about it. That's gone, that's finished. So the starting point is now, right now. And the end point is wherever you want to go, your goals. You get me? So all of you, I'm sure, have some idea of where you want to go, hopefully. If not, you should be. So the starting point of journey of life is now, right now. And the end point is when you are going to achieve your goal. So your goals are your end point. So you're beginning with the end in mind, right? So the journey is between now and between the goal. So who you are now to who you want to be, whatever time, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now. Are you following me? Where you are now to where you want to be after 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So what? So you get, right? That's a journey. From now to the future. So what we need to do? The first step now, I said who you are and where you are. You've got to know that. That's self-discovery. You've got to understand yourself. You've got to know who you are. You see, the mistake that most of us do is that we set goals, right? Goal setting is a great thing. People tell us that. But we set goals. But what we don't realize is setting goals without knowing who you are is pointless. You see, if I were to blindfold you, right, take you to some place in Perth, and then ask you to get back to Curtin, would you be able to get back to Curtin? If I take you somewhere in Perth, blindfold you, you don't know where you are, right? And then I say, look, here's the map book. I give you the map book, not the GPS, but I give you the map book. And I say, this is the map book, now go to Curtin. Do you think any of you can do it? Think about it. You don't know where you are. I blindfold you, put you in my car, take you to a place in Perth City somewhere. Okay? There are no signs, so you can't see where you are. I mean, obviously you don't know where you are. Then I tell you go to Curtin. You know where Curtin is, but you don't know where you are. You can't get to Curtin, right? You've got to know where you are. It's important to move forward to a destination. You've got to know where you're starting from, right? It's important, therefore, before you set your goals, to know who you are. So I implore all of you, right now, before you start on your journey, because you're going to be now on a journey now from now on, uni, from there to further studies, maybe to the workforce, or I don't know, whatever you plan to do, research or business or whatever, is be clear on who you are. What are your, I'll come to that, what are your values? What are your passions? What do you like doing? What are you good at? What gets you waking up excited in the morning? Right? So, self-awareness is very, very important, right? You've got to be aware of who you are. So please do that exercise before you do the goal setting. Setting goals without doing this is pointless. I can assure you of that. You know what will happen, and this is what happens to most people. They set goals without knowing who they are, and the goals they set are what? If I were to ask all of you, what are your top 3 goals out of your 10 goals? I can guarantee that at least 90% would say 1, to become a millionaire, right? No? You don't want to become a millionaire? Right? Because that's standard, right? You've got to have that goal. How can you not have that goal? It's crazy. That's it. Just like I reacted to her. Crazy, you know, you can't have that goal.
At least not enough money to want to be a millionaire.
Right? Yeah. The second goal would be to have a house, a big house, overlooking Swan River. Or maybe on the beach. Right? That's a dream of everybody. A house overlooking the water. That's the second goal. The third goal would be some fancy car. Maybe Ferrari, maybe, I don't know, Lamborghini, or I don't know, whatever you guys dream of, Maserati or something fancy. Right? Just an ordinary car you won't do, because it won't take you to where you want to go. You've got to have this. Now the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's really what you want, as long as you know that's really what you want. But the problem is we don't know that. And we take these goals from society and make them our goals. Right? We think that's our goals. But we don't know that they are goals. We think they are goals because everybody else's goals are the same. So we say, his goals are the same, his goals are the same. How can I not be having the same goals? I don't want to be, you know, somebody out of the crowd. I want to be with the crowd. So I've got to have this goal. And then what you do is you start chasing these goals. Right? You start working hard, trying to get to $1 million, trying to get that house. And then you get there. Maybe 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line. And then it feels empty. Right? Because you still haven't found what you really want, which is happiness. So when I say you want $1 million, why do you want $1 million? Well, I want $1 million because I want to buy a house. Okay, why do you want to buy a house? I don't want to buy a house because I want to sleep peacefully. Why do you want to sleep peacefully? To be happy, right? At the end of the day, we all want happiness. All the things that we're looking for is, so you get this $1 million, you get this big house, and you get this car, and you still are not happy. So you're pretty much where you started off. But you've already lost 8, 10 years in the bargain. Therefore, start with understanding who you are, then set your goals. Then those goals are going to be what are called inspired goals. So, important thing is understand what your values are. Right? We all have values. These are things that are core to us. They're deep within us. We believe in them very strongly and we live and die for them. Right? These are values that we cherish. That's part of our being. That's what we are individually. Otherwise, we're just the same. We've got 2 hands, 2 legs, eyes, nose, everything. And we cut off each of you, you get the same stuff from inside, right? There's no difference between any of us. If we were to be cut into pieces, you get the same thing, exactly the same thing. Doesn't matter where you're coming from, doesn't matter how old or how young you are. You get the same stuff. What differentiates you is these things, these intangible things that build up your character, that make you who you are. So values are very important. Define your values. Identify your top 8, top 10, top 5, top 3 values. Do this exercise. We get this done in a workshop where we spend time with people, getting them to go through 50 values and identifying the top 20, then top 10, then top 5, top 3, and so on. Once you know your 3 or 4 values, yeah, that's important. Once you know your values, then you look at your passions. You know, what makes you happy the most? Maybe playing a video game, when you lose track of time. Something that you're doing which keeps you excited. You don't feel sleepy, you don't feel tired. You're all the time energetic. What is that thing? You know? You were doing it at night and 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Suddenly you look at the clock at 3 o'clock. That's your passion. That's what, you know, you've got that inner drive inside. So identify your passions. What do you love doing? What do you love doing? Is it a video game thing, or watching a movie? Is it reading a book? Is it playing soccer, footy, or whatever it is? What is your passion? And the secret to happiness is identifying your passion and then being smart enough to decide how to get somebody to pay you for doing it. You get what I'm saying? Imagine if you love playing Xbox or your PS3. Think about, how can I get somebody to pay me for playing PS3? That'd be great, right? You're doing what you love, you're passionate about, and somebody's paying you for doing that. How can life get any better than that? So this is why it's important that you identify your passions, right? There are a couple of other things which I'm not going to cover now, which are habits and beliefs and all that, but focus on these values and passions. They're very important, right? I'm going to skip this video because I don't think we're going to have time. This is a video of, can you recognize that gentleman there? Yeah. He talks about passion, right? And you know what he achieved in life? And he talks about passion in this interview, and he says very clearly, this is on YouTube. So just go on to YouTube, Steve Jobs, passion, you'll get it. Just watch it, right? I'm not going to play it because it'll take 4-5 minutes. I don't have that much time. Right. So the first step in the journey was identifying who you are and where you are. This is the starting point of the journey. Now we said life is a journey, right? You remember that. The end point is the goal, right? So you're starting from now, who you are, to where you want to be and who you want to be. So it's all about growing in the process, from who you are to who you want to be. You get me? So when you become a millionaire, it's not the $1 million that changes you. It's becoming the person who you need to be to make $1 million. And that's why once you do that, you change internally. Even if somebody takes away the $1 million, you'll make it again in a couple of months. Right? We've all heard of, what's the guy's name? I forget his name. Trump, Donald Trump. You've heard of Donald Trump, right? He's multi-billionaire, Trump Tower in New York and Chicago and all that. And he, a billionaire, and he lost all his money. He was in debt to the tune of $900 million. Debt minus $900 million. Can you imagine anything worse than that? And it took him about a year and a half. He again became a billionaire. How? Why do we struggle to make, I don't know, maybe a couple of $100,000? Why? What's the difference? Right? That's important. So you've got to, the important thing is that you've got to be clear of who you become in the process. That's more important than actually getting to where you are. So who you are to who you want to be. Where you are to where you want to be. Both go parallelly. Right? So work on yourself. Very important. You work on other things. Work on yourself. You've heard of that saying in airlines, right? When you go in the aircraft, they say if the air pressure drops, the oxygen mask will come down. So first you put the oxygen mask on your face, right? And then you put it on your child's face, right? Because if you're not strong enough, how can you help other people? So it's important, it's your duty that you make yourself strong. You make yourself powerful, only then can you help other people, right? Focus on yourself. It's not selfish, it's important, it's important. Most of us think, how can I spend time on myself? How can I invest in myself? How can I go and do this course? How can I go and, I don't have the time to go to the gym and work out because what will my family think? No. If you don't work out, if you've got problems and you die, who's going to suffer? Your family's going to suffer, right? So it's your duty to make sure that you're healthy, mentally and physically, right? So I spoke about inspired life. Now, this is very, very important that I make you understand this because, you see, the difference is, we've all heard of motivation, right? Right? And we say we want to be motivated and motivation is good and motivation is important. Now, there are two kinds of motivation, right? There's a motivation which is external motivation. And I've got a video, but again, I won't play it. It's somebody telling you, hey, you've heard of, you've seen the haka, right? Before the rugby matches, hey, woo, wow, woo, and all that they do. Right? That's motivation. That's external motivation. They're psyching themselves up. But it doesn't last long. It's like drugs. Like you take a drug, you're on a high, you feel happy. So you'd say, why go through all this stuff and why go to all this trouble, let me just take drugs and I'm happy, right? But what happens after that? It's a high and then there's a big low. That's exactly what happens with external motivation. You pump yourself up, you psych yourself up, and you start motivated. So, and then there's a down. So it's up and down, up and down, up and down. That takes a lot of energy. It drains you out. Now there are occasions and places where external motivation is good. For example, you're going in to do an exam, right? It's for 2 hours. You want to be upbeat, you want to be positive, you want to have a positive attitude when you go write the exam. Or you're going and participating in the Olympics. You're doing that dive, or you're doing the 100-meter stroke or the 100-meter sprint. It's good to motivate yourself, external motivation, because it's just for that brief time that you're putting everything in. But in life, is life a sprint or is life a marathon? Yep. What is it? Marathon, right? Imagine if life is a sprint and you start running full speed. What will happen? You collapse. In a marathon, if you start sprinting, You're finished. You'll never end the race. Let alone win it. You won't even cross the finishing line. Life is a marathon. You've got to pace yourself, right? So external motivation can only take you so far. What after that? Therefore, what you need is what's called internal motivation. And there's another word, that's called inspiration. You get me? It's very important that you understand this. Inspiration is motivation that comes from within. It comes from within. The source is inside. There is no external source required. Right? So if it is a goal that's in line with who you are, if the goal is congruent, aligned with your values, your passions, and your belief systems, you will always have internal motivation or inspiration. I'll give you the, yep.
Do you have external inspiration? Or someone?
Inspiration is in spirit, in line with spirit. Spirit is where? Inside. Spirit is that intangible thing inside of you, right? We don't want to get into that because that becomes boogie, you know, because people don't understand. But there is something inside of us which can't be touched, which can be felt. So the spirit inside us, when you are in line with the spirit is driving you to do it. That's called inspiration. So inspiration can't be external. Inspiration has to be internal. Now you might say, I got inspired. We mix these two words up, right? Motivation, inspiration, we mix it up. We say, I went and saw that and I got inspired by that person. My father inspired me. What did your father do was, father got you to look inside yourself and pull that out from inside you. It was always there inside you. But that's what I want to do. I want to inspire all you guys to go and live your dream life. So you've got everything inside. I'm not giving you anything. You've got everything inside you. All that I'm telling you is to look inside yourself, because we're all looking outwards. We're looking always outside for everything, right? Everything you're looking outside. How much of time do we spend looking inside? How much of time do you actually spend sitting down, reflecting on yourself, looking inside you? Hardly any. We're always looking outside. So you'll never find inspiration outside. You've got to look inside. So the goals that you decide has to be aligned, in line, in sync, congruent to who you are. It has to be congruent to your values, it has to be congruent to your passions, it has to be congruent to your belief systems, your experiences, and who you are. Once that happens, then the driving force, the fuel for achieving that goal, going on the journey, comes from within. Nothing can stop you. You'll never feel tired. You'll always feel energetic. That's why some people are not feeling tired. You know, they work the whole day, they're still excited. I mean, imagine if you're playing video games, if that's something that you like, you play the whole day, you're not tired. But if I tell you to go and, you know, do some reading which you hate, you do for half an hour and you'll feel tired. Right? So something you like, something you love, you don't feel tired. So this is what we want to do. Because we all, I won't say all, most of us get caught up in this trap of going on a road that you don't like. That's a long road. Because journey of life. You're on that road and you just are unhappy. You don't like that road. But you have no choice because somebody else has taken the decision for you to go on that road. Now you're stuck. And then you go on that road, go on that road. You don't even have the courage to change that. Stop, reflect, think, change direction. You don't. This is so caught up, you know. Everybody else is going, so you go, you go, you go, you go, you go. And then, like I said in the beginning, time passes by and then suddenly you realize, yeah, my life's gone waste. So, I mentioned this already, motivation, inspiration. So, be careful about external motivation. External motivation, you're dependent on somebody else. Imagine your goal is to climb Mount Everest. Right? If that's your goal, that's one of your dream things. I want to climb Mount Everest. I want to become the best mountaineer in the world. And you're climbing this Mount Everest. You're on the last peak. And you're feeling tired and drained. And, you know, you don't have the energy and your motivation levels are down. Now, if you don't have the internal drive, you need somebody else to motivate you. But there's nobody else. You're alone, all alone. And you're just that much away from the summit, achieving your dream goal. What will happen? You give up. That's why most people give up, because they don't have that internal drive. But if you have that internal drive, that was a goal aligned with who you are, come what may, you'll make the climb and you'll achieve the goal. Right? There's another video, a beautiful video of, I don't know if you've seen it, just go on to Google, YouTube again, Al Pacino, I think it was called One Sunday or something like that. It's a movie, where the footy players, he goes and gives them a talk at halftime. Very beautiful video. All right, yeah, this is important, but look, setting the goals, it's very important, right? Setting goals. I don't know how many of you actually set goals. Can I see a show of hands? How many people actually have set goals? Have got some kind of a, right, fantastic. Now, how many of you have actually written down those goals? Very impressive, very impressive. How many of you actually look at those goals on a regular basis, daily, weekly? Fantastic, fantastic, excellent, yeah. Look, now the important thing is that you've got to have goals, right? Obviously, you'll do your self-discovery part first, and then you have your goals. So goals are very, very important, especially now because you've got 65 years ahead of you. If you don't have goals, you'll go somewhere and you'll be drifting, right? So you've got to have goals. So the important thing is, in goals, the first thing when you do goal setting, and you can go back and try this out, is there are 7 steps. And there could be more steps, but 7 steps are essential steps. Step number 1, you think of what goals you want, right? What do you want in life? Right? You think about it and say, okay, this is what I want, that is what I want. Think about it. Second thing, and a lot of people do that. They say, oh, I know what I want. Write it down. Put it down in black and white. It's very powerful. Put it down in black and white. Okay, this is the goal I want. Goal number 1, goal number 2, goal number 3, goal number 4. Right? Very important. And then what you do is you actually look at those goals, and there's something called SMART. I don't know if anybody's known. S-M-A-R-T. Right? And these goals can't be vague. I want to be rich. That's a goal, right? I want to be rich. What does rich mean? To me, I could have $100 and I could feel rich. To her, she could have $500 and still not feel rich. Somebody else could have $1,000 and still not feel rich. So rich is a very, very vague term. So S stands for specific. Write down specific. I want to have X number of dollars by so-and-so date. Measurable. Something that you can measure. Right? How? How want to be happy? Yeah. How? How does it reflect on a day-to-day basis? All my friends give me that feedback, or my relationships become stronger. You get me? So try and make it as specific. Measurable. Achievable. Make it achievable and realistic. Something that you can do. Time bound. You've got to have a timeline. If you set a goal, you've not put a timeline, it's just a dream. A dream with a timeline is a goal, right? So that's called SMART, right? So you do that SMART. And then what you do is, you actually prioritize them. Because you might have 20 goals. Can you achieve all your 20 goals? No. So prioritize them. What's the most important goal? And then the next important, the next important, the next important. And then break those goals down into small tasks. So 5-year goals, 10-year goals, 5-year goals, 1-year goal, 90-day goals, monthly goals, and so on. And then start doing them. Action. Very important. You can have all the goals in your mind, but if you don't do anything about it, procrastination, you're stuck. You'll always be where you are. You've got to walk. You've got to move forward on the journey, right? If you stand still, you're not going to go very far. And then once you've done that, you'll find that some actions that you take work, take you towards your goal, some don't. So review, come back. Do course correction, feedback system, and then start again. Right? Now, the other thing very important is most people set goals in, as human beings, we're multidimensional, right? We're not one-dimensional. We play different roles. We are sons, daughters, we may be parents, we may be brothers, sisters, we are students in the uni, we are friends. So we play these different roles. We might be professional. When you're professional, you might be playing the role of a professional in your organization. We play multiple roles. So you've got to have goals in each area of your life. And you have different areas. You've got personal, you've got family, you've got health. You've got to have health goals. You've got to have professional goals. You've got to have relationship goals, social goals. You've got to have spiritual goals, right? So when you set goals, remember that don't just set goal, just wealth goals. Money, car, house, everything else gone. So what will happen? You might actually become a millionaire and have that house on the beach and a Ferrari. But your health is gone. You might be obese, having, I don't know, BP and cancer and that and this. Your relationships are all gone, no family around you, no friends around you. Is that worth it? No. So when you set goals, make sure that you set goals in each area of your life. All the areas, very important, right? And I already mentioned SMART. Now the other thing that I want to, and you see, it's important that you understand certain concepts in life, because we all have different meanings for these words. So one of the terms that we use very loosely is success, right? I want to be successful. Are you successful? Am I successful? Is he successful? Is she successful, right? Do we know what success means? Have you ever thought about what success means? Has it got a specific meaning, or is it something different for different people? Right? I mean, this success has got a meaning, but it's still different for different people. So what success means to you may not be the same as what success means to you. Right? Now, in general, success is defined as the progressive realization of a worthy goal. I'll repeat that. So you've got a goal that you've set for yourself, an inspired goal that's in sync with your values. And you're moving on the path towards getting to that goal. So success is the journey. Remember that. Success is the journey, the progressive realization of this goal. So you set a goal of becoming a millionaire. I'm using that because it's easier to relate to. And then every day, every month, you're adding on to your bank account. So you've got $1,000 this month, next month $5,000, $8,000. So the whole journey is what success is. It's not about getting to $1 million. Success is the journey. So if you are going on the journey, and if you are moving on that path towards your goals, you're successful. Do you get what I'm saying? The reason why I say this is because we get so caught up in getting to the goal that we push ourselves unnecessarily and we never feel happy. Because getting to the goal is the end point. You're finished by the time. What about the whole journey? And success is about walking on that path towards your goals. Right? Leadership. Right? I think a lot of you are leaders over here. You've got your different activities, treasurer and personal HR person and whatever you've got your designation, right? That's leadership roles. You call play leadership roles. But you know what true leadership is? True leadership is leading yourself. Right? You could be leading so many people, but if you can't lead yourself, are you a leader? In my books, no. So you can control hundreds and thousands of people. Why? Because you're the prime minister, or you're the dean of the university, or you're the lecturer, or whatever you are, or you're the boss in the office. You can control those people. But if you can't control yourself, you're not a true leader. So very important, leadership is about yourself. Work on yourself. Become a leader inside yourself before you look at other people. And what you'll find is that if your goals are aligned with who you are, it's aligned with your values and your passions, and if your goals are inspired goals, life becomes easy. How many of you think life is difficult? You think life is difficult? Only 2 of you, and you know why? Because you haven't seen life as yet. You haven't seen real life. You're only 20 years old, right? And you've been in a protected environment where your parents have taken care of you. And so you haven't seen life. So you think life is easy. But just go out there and ask people on the street, how is life? I can guarantee 70% at least of people would tell you life is hard. Why? Why should life be hard? Is life meant to be hard? No. Life's meant to be easy. But we make it hard, right? Why? Because we're on the wrong path. We are going on the wrong road to a wrong destination. Are we struggling? You're swimming against the tide. You're going in the wrong direction, right? You're swimming against the tide, and swimming against the tide is always going to be hard. What you need to do is to turn around and swim along with the tide. Comes easy. You don't even have to swim. You just lay there and float and you go. You get what I'm saying? Life is meant to be easy. So if it is hard, there's something wrong. Everybody says this. You go back to thousands and thousands of years. I mean, I've done research. I've looked at religious texts, whether it's Bible or the Hindu text or Quran or any Buddhism or anything. Everybody says life is meant to be easy. Law of least effort. Nature doesn't want you to put in effort. It just happens. That's the way nature is. People today tell you that. You are in flow. It's called the law of resonance. You're in resonance. You're in resonance and you're in flow. Means everything is going smoothly for you. Everything just happens, right? You get good grades, you get admission, you get this thing, and everything goes happen. You see that for some people, everything happens. And for some people, nothing happens. Difficult, struggle. Some people, it's all exciting, it's all fun. Why? Think about it. Ask yourself. Spend some time trying to think, why does one person always seem to have everything working for him? He seems to be happy always, everything goes right for him, and it's a good life. Whereas other person, whatever he touches goes wrong. Why? I don't know. Think about it and see. This is precisely why, because you are in the wrong place, in the wrong time, and going on the wrong path. How can you not struggle?
I have a question.
Yep.
Like if life is that easy,
Yep.
then you mean then what about no pain, no gain?
No. Pain is there. Pain is there. I didn't say there's no pain.
And then if the example of swimming against the tide, what
Yep.
if there's no wave and you need to swim back to the shore, you still need to put effort into swimming back to the shore.
Look, it depends. Do you need to swim to the shore?
That's the destination.
I don't know. You have to decide what's your destination. Maybe my destination is not going to the shore. I want to be in the water all the time. How can you say my destination is the shore? Your destination may be the shore. So would it make sense if your destination is the shore, to go to the shore swimming against the tide, or go to the shore swimming with the tide? Which is easier?
Yeah, what I mean is where if there's no tide, then you need to swim and swim. You put in effort, and I don't quite get it when you said you don't have to put in effort for life to get happiness, or like to make life easier, because effort.
Yeah, but is putting effort bad? Is putting effort making you unhappy or happy? Okay, let me ask you one question. Do you play games? You play any game at all?
Tennis?
You play tennis?
Yes.
Why do you play tennis? You like playing tennis?
Yeah.
Right? So when you play tennis, do you put in effort or not?
Yeah.
Does it make you happy or unhappy?
Like when you learn it, it's hard, but like when you win it, then it's happy. But you put in effort to learn the
I'm not
skill.
saying you don't put in effort. Mind you, everybody, I stand here, I put in effort. I take a step, I put in effort, right? We put in effort because we are physical beings, and this energy or whatever you call it, physics, if you want, there's an effort. But the point is that effort making you happy, or is it making you unhappy, frustrated, disgruntled, miserable? That's the point. We're all putting in effort. By putting the right kind of effort. You're swimming with the tide, you're still swimming, right? But that's fun. Like, I play a game, I'm putting a lot of effort. I might be putting more effort than I'm sitting and reading. But I enjoy that, I have fun. I don't mind putting that effort. I can play for a long time. But whereas if I'm sitting on the couch and reading my uni book, I just hate it, I don't like it. I'm not putting in any effort, but I just can't. I feel tired, I feel rigid. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Not that, I'm not saying that you don't have to put in effort. But the point is that effort good or bad for you? Are you happy to put in that effort or not? Because you've got to put in that effort throughout your life. You will be putting in that effort. So you can put in that. It's like saying you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roads that take you to your goals. You could be, whichever road you take, you still have to walk on that road and move towards your goal. But the point is, if you're walking on the road that you like and there's nice things around, there's nice scenery and it's a beachside road, and you'll enjoy the journey, right? Because you've got beautiful scenery, nice breeze and all that. Whereas on the other thing, there's lots of thorns and through jungle and dark and scary. You're putting in effort in both places. All that I'm saying is, if you choose the right path, then effort becomes fun. So when I say the law of least effort, it means you're still putting in effort, but you're putting in less effort because it becomes fun. It becomes an enjoyable thing. Yeah? Think about it. It's not very easy to sometimes go home, spend some time, think about it. Before I go, I'll give you my business cards. If you want to have a discussion on that, we can meet up separately and have a discussion. Is that all right? All right. I don't know, most of you must have heard of this. I don't know, how many of you have seen the movie The Secret? Yeah? Some of you have seen it. All right, yeah? Okay, I won't talk about this much now because it's, you know, think about it, do some reading about it, go on to Google. You know, it's fantastic, Google, YouTube. Just please go and do some research. Spend some time, not just on your subjects, which you should, but spend some time on it. But like I said, when you have issues, your geography, mathematics, physics, and law will help you. You've got to understand these things. That's how you control your mind, right? All right. I'm not doing time. All right. I think we will have to skip this because it's going to take a lot of time. And what I'll do now is let me just move forward to. So, from what I've said now, there's lots more to cover, but really, I mean, it's, from what I've told you now, do you have any questions? Do you have anything that's not clear? Do you want to talk about something? Yep?
I hate to bring it up again, but I'm not entirely happy at university at the moment. I don't like doing my degree at all.
Yep.
But I need to get this degree to achieve my inspired goal.
Yep.
So I think we are talking about the same thing. It's just like a little bit of hard effort that I'm putting in now is going to make.
Have you heard
my
of
life
short-term pain leading to long-term gain?
Yeah, that's.
So she said about training in tennis. When you're training, it's painful, right? When you play after that, when you get that game, it's fun. Think of playing an instrument, you know, whether it's violin or a piano or a guitar or whatever. You know, it's painful. When you're playing the guitar and you know strings and it hurts and the hours of practice, it's painful. But if your dream is to become a guitar player, you put up with that. You want to climb Mount Everest, you're going to climb, you're going to get some slopes that are easy, and some slopes that are very tough. So that's short-term pain. If you've got those big, the goals are inspired, these are obstacles, right? I haven't spoken about the challenges, obstacles. We don't have the time. But these are challenges and obstacles that come in your way. We'll all get it. The point is, how do you see these obstacles, problems, challenges? If your goal is inspired and big enough, these will seem small. So you'll go around there, you'll climb over it, etc. But if your goal is not visible, it's small, these obstacles will seem big and they become problems. Problems hold you back. Challenges help you grow. Right? So if you look at that rock in the middle as a problem, you'll never get over it. You'll stop, you'll go back, you'll give up. But if you look at that as a challenge for you to be able to grow, then you grow. What's happening? It's got a timer or something. Have you set a timer? 1 hour exactly? All right. So, look, what I also do is, there are lots of things that I couldn't cover. Like I said in the beginning, it's just a struggle for me to, 1 hour is just absolutely nothing. But look, I've given you some inkling of what's out there, what's possible, what you can learn and what you can do now at this stage when you're 18, 19, 20, so that the rest of your life, you can design your life. You can decide how you want to live your life. You can follow your goals. Short-term pain, fine. But as long as you've got your long-term goal in mind, that's an inspired goal, because then you won't be looking at today, you'll be looking at there, that's the goal. This is just something that I have to negotiate to get before I get there. All right, I'll give my cards out and you can write to me. I'll send you some information by email. I can send you this presentation also by email, so you go through it, go on to Google, go on to YouTube. Now, what I'd like to just kind of quickly give you an idea of what we do as the Inspiration Academy. So, that's really the Inspiration Academy, right? My passion, right? That's my passion. That's why I'm doing this. I started doing other business, but I've got into this because this is my passion. This is something that I believe will give maximum benefit to people if they can see this. So what we do here is we help people by one-on-one coaching. We do one-on-one coaching, one-on-one, which means you've got a specific problem, challenge, I come and help you out. Or we also help you to get from where you are to get to another step. Again, we help you to discover your own strengths inside of you. That's what we do. We're not a doctor, we don't give you medicine. We tell you you've got the medicine and the answers inside of you. All that we do is to help you find that out. You've got everything that you want inside of you. You've got all the resources that you want. You've got all the answers to all the problems. And there's a saying, you can't see a problem unless you have the answer. You can't see a problem unless you have the answer. So you have the answer. All that you need to do is to look inside, search for that answer and pull it out. We help you do that. And then I also do these kind of seminars and workshops, right? So essentially what we do, and I'll just quickly go through that, is so we've got, like I mentioned, a self-discovery workshop, which is a one-day workshop, where we help you to go through these exercises of identifying your values, identifying your passions, identifying your beliefs, your habits, the defining moments of your life. So you can absolutely do personality profiling. So you know who you are. Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Do you like working with people? Do you like working with machines? Do you like to sit behind a computer and do a work? Or do you like to, are you a people person? Are you a systems oriented person? So we do personality profiling, different kinds of personality. So at the end of the day, you've got a clarity on who you are, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, where are the areas of opportunity, where are the threats, right? We do a SWOT analysis of you as an individual. So that's one. And then, of course, goal setting and clarity. We make sure that the goals that you decide are inspired goals, because otherwise they're waste. So that's another one-day workshop. This is a detailed workshop where we sit down. Now we can do this on a workshop basis or we can do it on a one-on-one basis, right? Just giving you this so that you understand. And these are the tools that, there are a lot of tools. I've just covered 5%, 10% of what you need. It's like a combination lock. Do you know what a combination lock is? A number lock, where you have 5, 6, 7 digits. So you keep rotating one number, second number, third number, fourth number, and all the numbers, the safe opens. That's exactly how it is. So you've got these tools that you can now start working on one by one. I'm still working in progress. We'll never be perfect, we'll never learn, because we're human beings. But if you can take one thing, work on that. Faith, work on that. Attitude, work on that. Fear, work on that. Limiting beliefs, work on that. Concept of contribution, work on that. Compassion, work on that. Procrastination, work on that. Communication skills, work on that. Time management, work on that. So many tools. And if you can start working bit by bit, you'll get that sense across to you. You don't even have to make a note. And then of course, discovery possibilities. We also do workshops like time management, etc. Right? I've also got a training calendar which I'll send to you, and if any of you are interested, we can look at doing something for you. So that is the conclusion of my very brief talk. So if you've got any questions, I can maybe take, but otherwise we can conclude it and you can get on with your business.
Yeah, you can go on with the short Q&A session.
Yeah, sure, I'm open. So is there anybody who wants to say something, clarify something? Yeah.
So you just said that you need to be self-aware before you make your goals.
Yep.
Right. I mean, I do agree with that, but like you just said, you need to work on all these things, and it takes time to work on these things.
Yep.
So do you need a goal to start working toward, to direct your energy in the right direction on those things that you just described?
Yeah, excellent question. What, I didn't get what's your name?
Michael.
Michael. Yeah, what Michael asked was, where do you start? Right? So you've got to be self-aware, but to work on all this, you need to have some direction to go to, but you don't have the direction to get the direction, so it's a chicken and egg story, right? So the answer to that is, it's a work in progress. So you start somewhere. Let's say start with your goal. So start with your goal of $1 million and a house on the beach and a Ferrari. Start with that. Doesn't matter. Start with that. Okay, you've got your 8 10 goals, which you think are your goals. You don't know that's your goals. You don't know whether they inspire, but you have those goals. Then go back. So continue to move towards those goals. Continue to work towards those goals. Meanwhile, work on yourself. Become self-aware. And once you start becoming self-aware, you'll start seeing out of those 10 goals, that one goal seems not very competent, not very important. Okay, I still do this. So this is a work in progress, believe me, there's no end to it. It's a continuous, ongoing process till you die. Maybe after you die, I don't know, or being there. So it's a continuous process. So your goals, your self-awareness, it keeps continuously changing. With, as you go along, minor fine-tuning, what I call it. So it's not ongoing. So you start somewhere, aware, go back to the goals, come back, go back to the goals. It's constant, back and forth. Anything else? Yep.
So with the goals, don't the goals have to be more realistic? Say, for example, you set a goal of being a millionaire in 5 years' time or something. By the time we reach that goal, I mean, like that 5 years that take from us, we would be like really miserable, I guess. So for 5 years from now, say for example, until we become a millionaire, I guess that 5 years that took me to become a millionaire, I think is going to be very tough. Like every day waking up, oh, I'm not a millionaire today. Okay, got to work on that. You know what I mean?
I do. I know exactly what you mean. So let's go back to what I mentioned about success. What did I say success was?
Process.
Yeah, process of getting there, right? So you've got this goal of becoming a millionaire in 5 years. That's a goal. But the whole fun is in the journey. So the whole process of getting there has to be fun. If you're not having fun, forget it, that's not your goal. So if you're not getting up in the morning excited and dreaming about this becoming a millionaire every day, not 1 day, 2 days, because you could attend a seminar like this. I had this happen to me. I attended a seminar and wow, that's external motivation. You got pumped up and 2 days, 3 days, you want to do that. But then after that, it's not driven from inside. So if the goal of becoming a millionaire in 5 years is truly an inspired goal, then every day morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you'll wake up. And you'll work 18 hours, 20 hours a day when everybody else is working 10 hours a day. And you still feel happy. And you still have energy. If it's not happening, then go back and relook at the goal. That's not really your inspired goal. You'll struggle. Yep.
Yeah. Just to bring you back to your first statistics, which we're talking about 20% of the world population have mental illnesses.
Yep.
And is that a direct relationship to people not understanding who they are, what they are, not having any life goals? Does that bring on depression?
Absolutely. I mean, look, the answer is not very straightforward. I can't give you a full-fledged answer because it's very complex. But the point I'm trying to make is when you talk about people who you follow, you respect. Let's say, for example, a lot of us believe in Jesus or Buddha or some of those really figures who had a profound impact on humanity, right? They had millions and millions of followers, right? Now, when they talk about enlightenment, what do they really talk about? Enlightenment is nothing but knowledge of the self, self-awareness. That's really it, understanding yourself, looking inside. When you say spirituality, is nothing but going inside and looking at the spirit. So, I'd say there will be a huge impact, positive impact, if you are spiritually aware. If you're, if you have a self-awareness, if you're in control of your thoughts, of your feelings, your emotions, if you can manage your subconscious mind, if you have the ability to look into yourself, and if you have some other things, like I said, detached attachment. You're attached to something, but you still are detached. So you're not so much attached that if it goes away, that's why some people, somebody in the family dies, a husband dies, wife dies. That's it, they're finished. Their whole life is gone. Because they grieve and grieve and grieve and grieve and that's it. But you've got to have the detached attachment. So you've got the attachment, you love the person, but at the same time you know that this is a reality. That you can only be, there's going to be a time when that goes. So then you've got to detach yourself and still continue with life. So otherwise that's how, a lot of people commit suicide. Oh, my, wife died, or my son died, or my lover died, or whatever died. They go commit suicide. So a lot of this would be solved. I can't say 100%, I don't know. But a lot of it, I believe very strongly that it will. Is that okay? Is that answer?
Yeah, I'd like to hear a lot more about detachment.
Sure.
That's definitely what.
Your friend there is already looking at me and casting angry glances at me. So we'll go around here. But look, guys, I mean, look, I'm happy to come here and do it out of this. If you guys are interested, just let me know and we can have another session somewhere, longer session where there's no time constraint and discuss this, brainstorm this. If everybody's interested, I'm not saying that everybody's interested, but look, I'm more than happy. This is really, like I said, this is my passion. I love doing this. I get a high doing this, so I'd love to do this 24 hours, so if I can. So let me know. I'd be more than happy. Yeah. Anybody else? No? All good? Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.